Deep within the mist-shrouded valleys of rural Japan, there lies an old abandoned house. Its tatami mats rotting and its wooden walls whispering stories of sorrow. Local villagers dare not tread near it, for they believe it to be the home of a Yūrei, a restless spirit tethered to the mortal world by a tragic past. The Yūrei was once a young woman named Akiko, beloved in her village for her beauty and kindness. But her life ended in betrayal. A jealous rival poisoned her, leaving her spirit unable to move on. Now Akiko's soul lingers, transformed into a Yūrei, a ghostly figure whose pale skin glows faintly in the dark and whose long unkempt black hair cascades over her face. She wears a tattered white burial kimono, the traditional garb of the dead, stained by the emotions that chain her to the mortal world. Yūrei haunt places tied to their death or unfulfilled desires. Akiko's spirit resides in the house where she took her last breath. The air is thick with unease, and visitors often report sudden chills or hearing faint weeping echoing in the empty halls. On some nights, soft hitodama, ghostly fireballs, hover around the house, marking her presence. Those who dare to enter her domain speak of an unsettling encounter. At first, they might see only flickering lights or feel a cold breeze. But as they wander deeper, Akiko's spectral form appears. Her hollow dark eyes peer out from behind her hair, and her frail bony hands reach out. She does not attack. Instead, she asks a question. Why did you betray me? Even though most have no connection to her past, her rage and sorrow confuse her, making her lash out indiscriminately. Only the bravest or the most foolish remain long enough to witness her true power. Her voice becomes a wail that chills the soul, and her form becomes almost transparent, dissolving into the air only to reappear behind her victims. Yūrei, like Akiko, arise from a violent or unresolved death. Their existence is fueled by intense emotions, betrayal, love, hatred, or regret, that prevent their souls from crossing over. Rituals can sometimes help Yūrei find peace, but only if their pain is acknowledged and their grievances are addressed. One night, a wandering monk approached Akiko's haunted house, determined to lay her spirit to rest. As he stepped inside, the air grew heavy and the temperature dropped. He saw her standing at the far end of the room, her head bowed, her long hair covering her face. "I have come to help you move on," the monk said, lighting incense. But as he chanted prayers, Akiko's form shifted. Her hollow eyes glared at him, and her voice hissed, "Move on? How can I, when my pain still lives here?" She lunged at him, her hands like claws, yet they passed through his body, leaving an icy numbness in their wake. The monk placed a small mirror on the floor and chanted louder. Akiko paused, staring at her reflection. In that moment, she saw the woman she once was, and the monster she had become. A single tear fell from her eye before she let out a mournful wail and dissolved into the air, leaving behind only a faint scent of cherry blossoms. The house grew silent, and the villagers said they never saw the Yūrei again. But on quiet nights, when the wind rustles through the trees, some claim to hear Akiko's faint, sorrowful whispers, reminding all who listen of the pain of unresolved betrayal.